Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Like and subscribe.
Welcome to the Sit, Walk, Work podcast, a show about paying attention. My name is Dominic and I'm your host, and today is a guided meditation. And what you can expect is that the practice will open up with a brief recap, followed by the actual practice itself. If you find today's episode valuable, please share with your friends and family, and feel free to leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. The show will begin after the following chimes. Today's practice was about the idea of having a bit of faith in the training and the work that we're doing here. It's an honest assessment of our practice because we show up, if we're lucky, day after day and sit and observe and watch and learn. And all of this work is moving us in some direction towards understanding and being with all the things that occur in any given moment and building a confidence of our ability to handle that. And so in doing that, we trust that the simple act of observing the body as we did today, following the breath as we did today, observing the space in which all of these things change and occur, that these will come together in a way that aids us to a little more wholeness and a little more groundedness. But it doesn't immediately come. It is work. It is practice. And so in keeping our faith, we show up and kind of work through that, meeting the obstacles that arise and treating those rather than resisting those as the way forward. That's a quote out of Ryan Holiday's book, The Obstacle is the Way. We're going to meet problems, but if we can take those problems and then turn them in such a way that we find our solution within them, they become the way forward. And our meditation practice introduces us to that. So we scanned the body, we moved into the breath. I had you kind of touch and feel a little bit about the gratitude and the sense of just sitting within the practice, the compassion for that. And then we move through our awareness practice and really differentiating between all of the changing parts of the practice and the non-changing parts of it. And then I asked you to kind of redirect your attention towards the watcher, the space from which you've been observing the practice, to see what and how that impacted you. And then we kind of closed it out finally with a bit of gratitude and a return back to breath. Let's begin our practice. So first thing we want to check into or be aware of is the posture we're taking. So the best way I like to think about it is try to prevent yourself from being slumped in any way that's going to impact negatively your ability to take a good breath in. Make sure your hands have a comfortable place to rest so they're not fidgeting and moving about as you practice. And the same is true for your vision. So setting your vision to a still object slightly out in front of you or closing your eyes are all good practices to kind of settle down the visual scanning and taking in of information. So with that, I ask, take a breath in. So just a regular inhale and then exhale. We'll do that 2 more times. Take a breath in and then let the breath go. 3rd time, inhale. As you do, if it feels safe, close the eyes. Start to send this attention inwards, or your attention inwards, I should say. Meditation is often a training tool, or I like to think of it in that way. And if you've ever trained for anything or built a skill of any kind, there's a sense of having faith in the process and the practice. And that's something that you have to learn either early on or as you develop your skill as a meditator, is that there's a bit of faith built into this process, that if we sit and observe, we'll learn enough, we'll become able to deal with the challenges of our life and of our mind, and we'll be able to cultivate a bit of calmness and stillness regardless of circumstances. And the practice been around for thousands of years. And so, in that is this sense that there's something here. And so, I set this up for you as we get into practice today for you to keep that faith at the front of mind, top of mind, rather than demanding your practice to be any certain way. Let it unfold as it does. With that, begin to kind of notice where your attention is right now. What is capturing it? Is it a series of thoughts? Maybe in relationship to what I just said? Is it your breath? Is your mind off somewhere in the future or ruminating on something that's already happened? The simple act of kind of knowing where you are will inform where the journey of practice may take you to. Considering how you want practice to go today, is there an intention that would make sense for you here? A purpose, a why, a reason that feels true to you in this moment. If you're new to practice, just sitting here and being with kind of the state of the moment might feel a little loud and a little chaotic. Allow the softness of your breath to help balance any of those sensations you might find arising. To resist it will only energize it to persist. So it helps to just simply be with what is in the moment. We're going to move our attention through our body as a method of using our focus and our breath. We're going to systematically scan from head to toe the body with the intent and the goal of noticing the sensations that are arising or showing up as you scan through the body. No right or wrong here. It's just simply getting comfortable with the idea that this is the body in this moment and that it too will change in the next and in the next. And so, with that, I want you to begin to welcome and notice any sensations that you might be feeling in your jaw, in your mouth. Feel the weight of your tongue and its placement in the mouth. Sensations that you feel in your ears, your right and left ear, your inner and outer parts of the ear. As I point your attention to each body part, just let it scan over, noticing if there's tension or if there's pressure or temperature or whatever's arising in that moment. Bringing your attention to the space where your breath begins, either directly under the nostrils or through the mouth if you're breathing in through the mouth. Feel the start of your next breath that comes in. Is it warm or is it cool? Does it change when you exhale? Noticing sensations in the eyes. Feel the weight of the eyes in the eye sockets, your eyelids pressing against them. Your visual field. Dark but not completely dark. Noticing sensations in the forehead, the crown of the head, the back of your head, and your neck. Each part widens kind of the perspective you're taking as you bring more information in. Notice if you slip into thinking and try to feel your way through this process. All parts, all objects of your senses are pulling at your attention. So you may be getting distracted as you're moving through the body, but just know that you come back to sensing and feeling the entire head and the neck, noting and being aware of what sensations are most present and what sensations are least present. As we continue to widen the span of your attention through the body, begin to notice sensations in your left shoulder, your left arm, the left hand and fingers, the entire left arm is sensation, heavy, relaxed, cool, and steady. Attention free to move between the head, the neck, and the left arm. Adding on to sensations in the right arm, the right shoulder, the right arm, the right hand, and fingers, the entire right arm. Noting and contrasting sensations between the right and the left. Gradually expanding the sections of your attention as you feel the head, the neck, and both arms. Let your attention open to the sensations in the front of your torso and the back of your torso. Noticing how the movement here impacts the limbs and the head and the neck. You may encounter moments of liking and disliking sensations you're picking up along the way. See if you can let your attention be neutral towards that. Simply allow them to exist. Taking sensations of the upper half of the body and beginning to include now the pelvis, the left leg, the left hip, left leg, left foot and toe, rooted, grounded, supported. As you sense and feel your right hip, your right leg, your right foot and toes, all as sensation. And as the watcher, the observer of the sensations changing in your body, see if you can notice the whole body now, not as the individual parts you scan through, but just as this changing, moving bit of energy that holds a variety of elements within it. There's parts of the body that have no sensation. There are parts that are contracted. There are parts that feel good and parts that feel bad, and parts that are just neutral. Nestled within this kaleidoscope of sensations you're experiencing lies the breath. Invite in and give space to your attention to now hold the breath here within the sensations of the body. And notice how you receive breath. In the same way you receive sensations and you receive thoughts, you don't go searching for these things. They appear on their own in your awareness. Can you let your attention receive the next few rounds of breathing? Noticing as you're aware of the breath and still loosely the sensations of the body, that the mind might wander off into its own thing. Maybe you start thinking about the practice and how it should or could be, or about some concluded event or some upcoming thing. And you find yourself feeling pulled away from the place you want to hold your focus. The power of meditation is you can take what would seemingly be a distraction, an obstacle to where you're trying to move in your practice, and turn that into the object, the tool, the way through. So if you find yourself distracted, begin to give your attention to the distraction, to investigate it, to be curious about it, to see while you're paying attention to it, the way your breath is impacted by it, or the way it feels as a sensation in your body. Attending to it with curiosity, openness, and compassion. Letting this attitude of compassion be a support element to all that's happening in this practice today. In the way that the breath changes and affects the body, curiosity and compassion softens the mind and enables you to broaden your ability to hold experience. You've been watching and observing each of the elements I've pointed your attention towards. And one of the things that is present to be observed is there's so much space for all of this to happen. There's room for all of these elements to coexist. And while it may be a lot of moving parts in the objects that you're witnessing, as the witness, there is a steadiness there, a presence of a non changing element to your experience. This unchanging part we call awareness, the space from which everything arrives to you to witness. And you can begin to get a sense for this by simply noticing the available space in this moment, both externally, the space in front of you and behind you and below you and beside you, where your body is in that space, the space within you, this space in its emptiness is and does have room for it all. And even as you witness this space, let your attention turn towards and look for the witnesser of this experience. Where is that located in your practice in this moment? Or is that too just another element arising in the moment? And at any point in this journey, should you need to reconnect and ground, rest your attention on the breath back into the sensations of the body. The nice thing about the changing or impermanent nature of our practices, no matter how many times you bury your attention on any part of the practice, it's a new moment unfolding. In the subtlest of ways, something has changed. Taking the next few minutes of practice to cultivate a bit of kindness and gratitude for your willingness to be here and to sit in this space, to learn from yourself, to be a student of yourself, to give yourself a space where compassion and gratitude is welcomed, encouraged, supported. Where as you are in this moment is enough. And that through faith in your training, you come to see that these are things that become true over time. Taking a moment to simply Relax the attention. Notice where you are in the practice now, how the body feels. What's the current state of the mind in this moment? How does that line up with any intentions you might have set? Or simply, is that the same as when you started, or is it slightly different? As we begin to close out practice today, take your time in exiting the practice as you open the eyes and begin to invite the rest of your visual field into your space of awareness. Notice that that's like the body when we scan through it and we widen and add more to the picture for us to observe and to note.
That's the beauty of it.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. I invite you to check out my Substack, where we are building a community of like-minded individuals to discuss all topics related to the idea of paying attention. I hope to see you there. But until then, with metta, may you be well.
Like and subscribe.